Hello guys, Emmanuel from Geekception here, and today I shall be doing the 5-day review of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2. Let's begin. And welcome back guys. Now for those people who are new to this channel or for the people who do not know, my 5-day review is a review where I use the phone every single day for 5 days, and at the end of each of those 5 days I shall be recording what I've observed from using the phone. So this video might be a bit long for some people, so I shall leave jump lists in the description down there below, so check it out to skip to certain days in case you don't want to watch the full video. And today is the first day that I've been using the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2, and I love the polycarbonate feeling back. It feels really nice to the touch. The phone is also pretty light, so it doesn't feel heavy when you hold it in your hands. At 5.5 inches, I would say it's the perfect size between being too big and being too small. The body to screen ratio on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2 is really small, and the display looks really gorgeous because of that one glass solution that Xiaomi uses. So even when looking at the display from different angles, the viewing angle is really good for the display of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2. But something I did notice is the fact that because of that polycarbonate back, it can be tricky sometimes to pick the phone up from the table. Rounding off today with battery life, at about 7:20 p.m, I got 4 hours of screen on time, which I would say is pretty average for a device that has 3060 mAh battery. And today is the second day that I've been using the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2. But something I noticed is, because I like to customize the phone, is the fact that when I actually change the font, it has to restart the phone. Now, this is something I have problems with, because when I tried it on other Xiaomi models like the Mi 4 or the Mi Note, I had no such problems. Another thing which bugged me for a while was the fact that the contrast is a bit off on the Redmi Note 2. Let me explain. When I put it side by side with other Xiaomi models, I can actually see that there's a bit change in color and contrast. When it comes to consuming media on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2, the display is crisp, sharp and very saturated. The fact that it has a 5.5-inch Full HD display also helps here. And moving on to the speaker output, I ran some tests, so check them out. And coming back from that test, I can tell you guys that the speaker output on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2 is actually pretty decent. The only problem, however, is the fact that the speaker is on the back, so it's very open to distortion when you place it on the surface. And to illustrate that, I actually ran another test, so have a look. And at 10:30 p.m. today, I had about 12% left of battery life with about 4.4 hours of screen on time, which is definitely better than yesterday. Hopefully tomorrow I get even better score. And today is the third day that I've been using the phone, and something I love is a feature called a night display. So basically, night display is the feature where Xiaomi says you can actually take the display brightness all the way down and it goes really dark, as you guys can see now. When it comes to performance, my tests were really inconsistent. A problem I had was the fact that every time I launch an app, it actually took a little long before the app opened, and I ran this so many times and I had the same result. But on the other end of the spectrum, every time I wanted to switch from one app to the other, it was blazingly fast, so I really do not know when it comes to performance. I guess I would have to carry out more tests, but as at now, that is what I've observed. But something that actually surprised me for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2 is the fact that RAM management was surprisingly good. When I used the Mi 4i a while back, I usually had problems with the interface because there was not enough RAM, but on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2, I had no such problems. And running up today with battery life, at about 8:40 p.m, I had 9% left on the battery with about 4.4 hours of screen on time, which I would say is pretty okay. And today's the 4th day that I've been using the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2. But something I noticed is the fact that when you actually press the lock button while the screen is off, there's actually a little lag between when the screen comes on and when you press the button. And I've been playing quite a few games with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2, and I have no problems as regards to the performance of the games, as they ran very smoothly, no lags whatsoever the game I played. After playing the games, I actually did a temperature test of the phones, and something I noticed is the fact that when you're actually using this phone for intensive use such as gaming, the back part of the phone near the camera gets really hot. And doing a temperature test, I got about 37 degrees around that area, so do watch out for that area. Running off today with battery life, at about 11:50 p.m, I had about 25% left on the battery with 3 hours of screen on time, which I would say is average. And today's the 5th day of using the phone, and something I like is the inclusion of face detect autofocus. As you guys can see right now, it's really fast in picking up subjects in the frame. Another thing I like in the camera interface of the Redmi Note 2 is the fact that the shutter speed is really fast, so there is no lag on when you press the shutter button and when it actually takes the picture. I ran video tests of the camera, of both the front camera and the back camera of the Redmi Note 2. Check it out. And this is the front camera test of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2. Now, as you guys can see, this is the quality. This is about 5:30 in the evening here, and this is basically what you're going to get if you're using the front camera of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2. So let me just walk for about 3 more seconds, and I shall switch to the back camera. And this is the back camera test of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2. Now let me try to see if I can get that in focus and see how fast it autofocuses. And as you guys can see, that face detect autofocus is very fast, as you guys can see. So yeah, let me point to the sky there, see how it retains the detail. Point here, and as you guys can see, this is definitely the quality you're going to be getting if you get the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2. Taking a look at photos taken from the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2, I would say it's got very good dynamic range. 9 out of 10 times when you take a shot, it will turn out very good. It's got good saturation, good sharpness from the edges to the center. I also tried HDR mode, and HDR mode was very good in rescuing the highlights so that they're not blown out and the shadows so that they're not too dark. But sometimes the HDR mode was overly aggressive and the colors looked very fake. So that was an issue I had like 1 out of 10 times. I've also been making phone calls with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2 from the first day of this review, and I've had no problems. In fact, if there's one thing I want to complain about, is the fact that when you put it to your ear, it's actually too loud that someone standing next to you might actually hear what the other parties are saying. And rounding off today with battery life, at 11:35 p.m. today, I had 3% left on the battery with 2 hours of screen on time, which is abysmal. This is really terrible. And that has been it for my 5-day reviews. Now I'm going to be switching to my pros and cons about the device before saying the conclusion. For my pros about the device, I like the display. It's very sharp, very crisp, very saturated, and good viewing angles. I also like the polycarbonate feeling back. It feels really nice to the touch. The speakers on the back of the phone are also moderately loud, but they're not distorted, so they sound pretty balanced. Performance was also moderately balanced. All throughout when I used the phone, I never had a launcher withdrawal once, which showed how powerful the X10 Helio processor is on the phone. The cameras are also pretty decent with good dynamic range, sharpness, and saturation. And the last pro for me in my books is the price. For $152 or 650 ringgit, this phone cannot be matched by the display, the processing power, and the camera. Moving on to my cons about the device, the first thing I can really nitpick about is about the contrast of the device. Compared to other Xiaomi devices, there's something a bit off about it. Also, while the polycarbonate back might be good, it's actually a bit slippery, especially when your hands are wet, and it can be a bit difficult to get off the table. Speakers produce decent quality like I said, but the moment you place it on a table or on your hands, they become muffled and you cannot hear anything at all. Battery life was also below expectations. For a device with a 3060 mAh battery, I expected more and better battery life than what I actually got. And for gamers out there, when you're playing games with the device near the camera on the back of the device, it gets moderately hot or uncomfortably hot for some people, at least for me, which I didn't like. And that has been it for my pros and cons of the device, apart from the fact that I didn't like how fast the battery drained and the inconsistent battery life. I still really love this Redmi Note 2. The display is fantastic, it feels really good in the hand, and for the camera was also pretty decent that I actually did not believe it is at this price point. And that has been it for this video, guys. This has taken me quite a lot of effort because I've been shooting for the past 5 days. So give me a big fat thumbs up there, it actually helps me, I like it. Thumbs down if there's something you don't like in this video, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future amazing, wonderful videos. If you have any questions or any inquiries about this device, leave it down there in the comment section below and I make sure that I answer all the comments. That has been it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I shall catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to be awesome. Bye.